This is a Flying Cow production.
Well, hello and welcome back to Movie Battles here on the Flying Cow, where we take the very best in Disney Pixar movie trivia and we put them head to head. I, of course, am your host, Clay Johnson, the Flying Cow himself, and here with me calling another round one match, or calling a round one match, is the sinister one himself, James Shimo. How are you, James?
I'm doing quite well, sir. Thank you so much for having me. As always, you know, our time together as members of the Sinister Syndicate may be on hold for now, but it doesn't mean I'm any less glad to help out a buddy and have some fun in here. Hey. Cool it.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's great to have you here as always. And today we have an exciting round one match. We have a match between the cooler Chris Diaz and the former three-time number one contender herself, the Chartmaster, Hannah Keefer. I'm sure it's going to prove to be quite an exciting match today.
Absolutely. You know, again, both of these competitors wanting to show that they know their stuff, that they can advance in this tournament, especially for someone who's been a former number one contender before, like Hannah. You know, she's definitely got something to prove here. So it's going to be a fun watch and a fun match to get there. The results should be fairly interesting. Cannot wait to see what spills out.
Absolutely. So let us go ahead and introduce today's competitors. Introducing first, representing whoever he wants, with a record of 2 wins, 3 defeats, and 2 knockouts. He is the cooler, Chris Diaz. Chris, how are you, sir? How is the surface of the sun this time of year? Good. I'm glad to hear it. So, are you excited about today's match?
Yeah, in a way.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. So, you are going up against a former 3-time number one contender in Hannah today. What do you think your chances are in this first round match?
50-50 to go either way.
All right. Sounds good. Well, Chris, I'm excited to see what you're going to be doing in this match, but let us go ahead and bring in your competitor for today. And his opponent, representing the list makers of the world, with a record of 6 wins, 5 defeats, and 4 knockouts. She is a former 3-time number one contender and a Teddy Award nominee. She is the Chartmaster, Hannah Keefer.
Hello.
Hannah, how are you today, ma'am?
Doing all right. Ready to jump back into this and see where things land.
Absolutely. So this is round one of the tournament. Last year, famously, you went the first 2 rounds of the tournament not only undefeated but perfect. Do you think we're going to get anywhere close to that this go around?
Probably. I wouldn't set expectations that high. It would be great, but as always is the case with me, it really depends on the luck of the draw. There are some of the movies that I just don't have the knowledge of, and haven't dug into further, and so it really depends on where we land. So well, if we are well within my niche, I'll do great, and if we hit outside of it, Chris may have a luckier day. So we'll see where things land. I'm excited to make it happen.
All right, all right, Hannah, managing expectations as always. I think as long as we don't run across a soul question, you'll do pretty well. So what do you say we go ahead and bring Chris back in here? Okay, so let us go ahead and get things rolling with the reading of the rules for round number 1. In round number 1, 8 questions from random categories will be given to all competitors. Competitors will have 15 seconds to write each answer. Answers must be spoken aloud when revealing your response. Questions in this round are worth 1 point. If either competitor gets all 8 questions correct, they will have a perfect round and receive a 1-point bonus question. Competitors may also request a repeat. There are 3 repeats available. So if you need a little bit more time or you just want to hear a question again, use your repeats. You also have a challenge. If at any point you disagree with the ruling of a question, you can challenge. If the ruling is upheld, you will keep your challenge. There is no stealing in this round. All right, so with that out of the way, competitors, are you ready?
Yes.
I'm ready.
All right, James, are you ready, sir?
I absolutely am. And may I commend Chris Diaz on showing J.J. Abrams how lens flare is truly done.
Absolutely, absolutely. So without further ado, I don't know about you guys, but I feel ready for a movie battle. Action begin. And we will start in round number 1 with question number 1 in the category of early classics and classics. These are, of course, the films of mostly the 30s through the 50s. And your question: in which narrative-driven film does the lead character not speak a word? It's early classics,
not a lot of
and
clues.
classics. Yeah, some of these, they may have seen them, but it might be a while. I don't know a whole lot of people that revisit these earlier films that often, so they can.
Aside from the Disney studios themselves, when they want to make a remake.
Right. Well, and those don't count. Yeah. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, and we are starting with the mayor of Suntown himself, Chris.
You can read that good, but you need Dumbo.
Dumbo is correct. Hannah.
I also went for Dumbo.
Dumbo. All right. So they are currently tied at 1 going into the second question.
All right, and your second question is going to come in the category of the Disney Renaissance. These films predominantly stick within the decade of the 90s. And your query: which of these actors do not provide a voice in 1994's The Lion King? Rowan Atkinson, David Ogden Stiers, Ernie Sabella, or Robert Guillaume? I have no idea how to pronounce that last name.
Yeah.
Guillaume,
no,
thank you.
It's all right. Yeah, some quite some interesting names there. We will have to see what our competitors pull out, if they've even heard of half of those people.
Definitely got to know your voice actors for this one.
Definitely helps. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
All right, we will go to Hannah first.
He did so many other great Disney voice roles, but it's David Ogden Stiers who was not in The Lion King.
That is correct. And Chris Diaz.
David Hawkins, yes.
All right, well done. Still sticking tied up, neck and neck, going into question 3.
All right, question number 3 in the category of the dark times. These are the films of the 2000s. Which Disney animated film was released in 2004? 2004. Movie release dates.
Yeah, the Achilles heel of many a competitor.
You got to not only know the names of the films, but then what year were they released?
I was watching, or I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they brought up Inception was back in 2010. I'm like, that movie is not 12 years old. And they're like, yes, it is. And I'm like, God, where'd the time go?
Dude. Yeah, that doesn't feel as old as it is. All right, so we're starting with Chris.
Home on the Range.
Home on the Range is correct. Hannah.
Guessed it. Home on the Range. Woo!
Hannah, once again, proving she is an expert at guessing, keeping the streak alive 3-3, going into the next question.
Absolutely. You'd be forgiven for forgetting that movie because, God, I wish I could. That movie sucked. Anyway, we will move on to question number 4 in the category of Pixar. And your question. In which film will you hear the affectionate terms Googly Bear and Schmoopsy Poo? And why those are not available designs at Build-A-Bear, I have no idea.
Right? I mean, who doesn't want their very own Googly Bear? or I mean, I honestly am a little afraid of what kind of animal a Schmoopsy Poo would be.
I mean, it could be you never know. That could be a Girl Scout cookie tie-in for all you know. I don't know if they've got a flavor like that, but.
Oh, in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
All right, we go to Hannah first.
We'll see if my guessing streak holds up. I'm guessing Monsters, Inc.
And you would be correct for 1 point. Very nice. And Diaz.
Monsters, Inc.
All right, still sticking with it here.
All right, going into the 5th question in the category of hybrid and Muppets. And the question, you will find brothers Gary and Walter in which Muppet film?
Favorite hybrid animation live action movie? Go.
Oh, I mean, my favorite hybrid film, I mean, you can't do much better than Mary Poppins, although after seeing Saving Mr. Banks, I have really awkward feelings towards it because that movie was a crime. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
You got my childhood feelings and my more aware feelings in 5.
Sorry.
4.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit
3,
still takes that title from me.
2, and 1. I will say Pete's Dragon is definitely a favorite as well. All right, so we are going first to Chris.
My favorite Muppet movie, The Muppets.
It is The Muppets. Hannah.
Got the Muppets.
All right, getting confirmation once again of perhaps a guess. Who knows? Going now into the 6th question, still tied at 5.
I know, going punch for punch, blow for blow here. Who's going to land that first good hit? Let's find out. Your next category is in the decline/wilderness. These are the decades of the 60s through the 80s. And the question is as follows. You will find the Twilight bark and animals using soot as a disguise in which film? Yeah, people can try using soot as a disguise, but it just comes off kind of cringe.
I was
For
about to
a
say,
number
I
of
don't
reasons.
think that's a good idea for people.
No,
Not
at
a
all.
good animals. It's different.
Rowdy Roddy Piper
Yeah,
should have
let's-
known better.
Yeah. Something we like to just kind of like. Let's just not talk about that part in 5,
Kind of like Bruno.
4, 3, 2, and 1.
All right, we go to Hannah for answers first.
That'd be 101 Dalmatians.
Indeed, it is the Dalmatian plantation itself, and Diaz.
101 Dalmatians.
All right, we still got a tie game here, heading into the next question.
Yep, going into everybody's favorite category, package film. Short
FedEx
collections
special delivery.
of the 40s. Yes, absolutely. And your question. Jose Carioca was introduced in which package film?
I've always liked how his name kind of almost sounds like you could pronounce it karaoke at some point.
Right. Yeah, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if somebody did that or had, I mean, I'm sure they have done it. Yeah. Would not be surprised. It is rather similar. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I just need I know how to count. My hand doesn't. All right. So we are starting with Chris. Do you have it?
Saludos, amigos.
Saludos amigos is correct. Hannah.
Saludos, amigos.
All right. Look at them.
Wowzers.
Still tied. Still both. Still perfect. Going into the final question of this round. Could we have a double perfect round? I think that would be the first time if we did. We'll just have to see.
Time will tell. Let's find out as we get into the 8th and final question in round 1. And it is the category of the CG Revolution. Anywhere from the 2010s to now. And let's see what this category has in store. The question: in which film will you find an enchanted forest, singing reindeer, and a fire spirit? As my parents' dog over here chimes in his 2 cents.
It's all right. He's excited about the CG Revolution as well. They're good films.
They are.
It.
They absolutely are.
Good stuff. We'll have to see how well our competitors know it in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
All right, we go to Hannah first.
I didn't watch it, but that's got to be Frozen 2, right?
And that is correct.
For the
for 1
perfect
point.
round.
Diaz for the second
Right.
perfect round.
My first perfect round ever, Frozen 2.
Hey, double
All right.
perfect round. Wowzers.
Double perfect rounds. Perfect rounds for everyone.
You get a perfect
All right.
round. You get a
My
perfect round.
friend-
Everybody gets a
Let
perfect
me
round.
say, my first perfect round ever in a trivia match.
All
Nice.
right. Great job. So, both of you are going to be receiving the bonus, which means that you are going to have to continue to write down the answer just like the whole rest of the match. So, your question in the category of bonus: in which film will you hear about the great thief, Kali Baba?
Gotta love pun names, especially when it comes to old school like stories and whatnot.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun type of thing. I mean, you know, either puns or alliterations, either one can be some fun stuff. We'll have to see if either one of our competitors know this in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. And for the fully perfect round, Chris, do you have it, sir?
The DuckTales movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamp.
DuckTales, the movie Treasure of the Lost Lamp, is correct. Hannah?
I did not have it.
No. All right. So, with that, Chris takes a 1-point lead going into round number 2. Still, obviously, anyone's game with a score this neck and neck. We will just have to see how things go, but let's go ahead and bring up the rules for round number 2. All right, in round number 2, also known as the wheel round, competitors get to spin the wheel up to 2 times. If you do not like your first spin, you can choose to spin again. However, if you land on opponent's choice, you are stuck with that. Competitors will receive 4 questions in their category. Questions in this round are worth 2 points. Multiple choice is available. However, if you use it, the value of the question drops to 1 point. Competitors will have 15 seconds to answer each question. Opponents may steal if a competitor gives an incorrect response. Repeats and challenges are still in effect. All right, so Chris, because you currently have a 1-point lead, you get to choose. Would you like to spin first, or would you like to defer to Hannah?
Keefer. Lady first.
Defer. All right, so Hannah is going to go first. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the wheel for Hannah. All right. Hannah, can you see the wheel?
Yes, I can.
All right, then Hannah, this spin is yours. Round and round it goes. Where will it stop? It stops on actors. Of course, these are both voice roles and live performances. Would you like to keep it or spin again?
This is a tough call because there are so many, and I know a lot of them, but there are also a lot that I just wouldn't get. But there are other categories on this wheel that I would prefer less. So I'm gonna take the gamble to go with actors and hope that it lands where I want it to.
All right. So Hannah is going to stick with actors. So she is going to receive 4 questions in the category of actors. And Hannah, I am going to be reading these questions to you. All right. And your question. First question in the category of actors. Disney and vocal legend Sterling Holloway provides the voice of what classic character in Bambi?
Who am I forgetting in Bambi? I'm gonna get multiple choice.
All right.
There's clearly someone I
multiple
can't
choice.
remember.
Sure, multiple choice it is. And your options there. Is it A, Thumper, B, Friend Owl, C, Flower, or D, Mr. Mole?
Gosh, I'm gonna go with D, Mr. Mole. I don't think he voiced one of the others, but maybe I'm wrong.
That is incorrect. So, Chris, you're going to get the opportunity to steal. Let me repeat the question. Disney and vocal legend Sterling Holloway provides the voice of what classic character in Bambi? Is it A, Thumper, B, Friend Owl, C, Flower, or D, Mr. Mole?
Okay.
That is also incorrect. We were looking for Flower. He provides the voice of adult Flower.
How did I not know this?
I was between flower and something in my head. The one.
How
All
did-
right. So, with that, no points exchanged, no steals. So we're back to the drawing board, going to the second question in this round. Your second question. Who provides the voice of Izzy Hawthorne, Alicia's granddaughter, in Lightyear?
Give me multiple choice.
All right, multiple choice. It is. And your options. Is it A, Uzo Aduba, B, Kiki Palmer, C, Zendaya, or D, Kyla Pratt?
I'm going to guess. I'm gonna guess D, Kyla Pratt.
That is incorrect. So, Chris, you are going to get another opportunity to steal. And your question, who provides the voice of Izzy Hawthorne, Alicia's granddaughter, in Lightyear? Is it A, Uzo Aduba, B, Kiki Palmer, C, Zendaya, or D, Kyla Pratt?
We're so good at note this year. Kiki Palmer.
That is correct for a 1-point steal. So Chris widening his lead, now 10-8, going into Hannah's penultimate question in this round. And your question. What British comedian plays Dominic Badgie, Constantine's accomplice in Muppets Most Wanted?
Give me multiple choice. I saw it, but I don't remember it.
All right. And your options here. Is it A, Ricky Gervais, B, John Oliver, C, Rowan Atkinson, or D, James Corden?
Well, it wasn't any of the ones I had in my head. I don't remember any of the characters in that movie. Tina Fey was in it, I think. But she's not a British comedian.
Also not one of the options.
Could you repeat the answers one more time?
Just the options? Yes.
Just the options.
One free.
Actually, read me the whole question in case
whole
that
question.
helps.
All right. So that
Thanks.
is your first repeat, Hannah. All right, and your options there, or sorry, your question. What British comedian plays Dominic Badgie, spelled bad guy, Constantine's accomplice in Muppets Most Wanted? Is it A, Ricky Gervais, B, John Oliver, C, Rowan Atkinson, or D, James Corden?
I'm gonna say B, John Oliver.
That is incorrect. So Chris gets another opportunity to steal. Chris, what British comedian plays Dominic Badgie, spelled bad guy, Constantine's accomplice in Muppets Most Wanted? Is it A, Ricky Gervais, B, John Oliver, C, Rowan Atkinson, or D, James Corden? A, Ricky Gervais is correct for another 1 point steal. All right, so we are down now to Hannah's final question in this round. If she gets it for 2 points, she can get within 1 point of Chris going into his round 2 category. And your question: what actor / singer plays Jeremiah's confident Uncle Hiram in So Dear to My Heart?
Give me multiple choice and I'll guess again.
All right. Multiple choice it is, and your options there. Is it A, Bing Crosby, B, Jimmy Durante, C, Danny Kaye, or D, Burl Ives?
I'm gonna go with D, Burl Ives.
D, Burl Ives is correct for 1 point.
I scored something during this round.
So a pretty tough round number 2 for Hannah, only getting 1 point out of that. Chris getting 2 steals. So we will just have to see how the round turns around for Chris as we bring up his wheel.
Ricky Gervais ripped apart Hollywood, and he maybe ripped apart Hannah's hopes of a win here. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Let's see. All right. So, Chris, can you see the wheel? All right. Then, Chris, this spin is yours. And you have landed on opponent's choice.
Okay.
So, Hannah has the opportunity to change her fate.
She needed that desperately.
Yes. Hannah, what would you like to give to Chris?
Can I see the list? There we go. Now, of course, the ones that I would do badly at are not necessarily the ones he would. And I don't know Chris's style as well. I don't know necessarily his definite strengths and weaknesses.
Sure.
So I'm gonna go with one of the more generally tough ones that people struggle with in general, and go with package films.
All right. So Hannah has saddled Chris with package films.
A smart play. We know they give a lot of people trouble, so it's not exactly a bad option.
And
You
I
gotta
watched
watch
them all, so maybe I'll remember any if I get a chance to steal.
All
you
right.
go.
So, Chris, you are going to get 4 questions in the category of package films, and these are read to you by none other than Sinister James Shimo.
All right, here we go. Your first question, Chris. In Make Mine Music's Peter and the Wolf segment, which character is primarily represented by horns and cymbals?
Multiple choice.
All right, your multiple choice options I can provide. Is it A, Peter, B, Sasha, C, the Hunters, or D, the Wolf?
Hunter.
C, the Hunters is incorrect. So we will go now to Hannah for the steal. Again, the question at hand. In Make Mine Music's Peter and the Wolf segment, which character is primarily represented by horns and cymbals? Is it A, Peter, B, Sasha, C, the Hunters, or D, the Wolf?
I had been going to guess the Hunters, so let's go with B, Sasha.
B, Sasha is also incorrect. The correct answer we were looking for was, of course, the Wolf.
I knew it wasn't Peter.
Between 2 and 9 handle.
All right, so no points exchanged in that situation, but Chris does still maintain his lead. Let's see what we can do next. Chris, your second question in the category of package films. In the Lake Titicaca segment of Saludos Amigos, Donald Duck encounters what obstinate animal?
Multiple choice.
Multiple choice it is. Is it A, a goat, B, a cow, C, a llama, or D, a donkey?
Donkey.
Donkey, D is incorrect. So we will now go to Hannah for the steal. Once again, the question is, in the Lake Titicaca segment of Saludos Amigos, Donald Duck encounters what obstinate animal? A, a goat, B, a cow, C, a llama, or D, a donkey?
I'm going to say C, llama.
And you would be correct for a 1-point steal. All right.
Brings her
starting to-
within 1 point of Chris.
Starting to claw her way back. I'm sorry. And the only Lake Titicaca segment I remember fondly is the Animaniacs one.
Yeah.
But in any case, let us move on. Let us move on then to question number 3, Chris. Here we go. Question 3 in the category of package films. What is the name of the first segment in the package film Melody Time? Did you call it multiple choice or a repeat? Okay. Multiple choice. Is it A, Bumble Boogie, B, Once Upon a Winter Time, C, Trees, or D, The Legend of Johnny Appleseed?
Once upon a winter time.
That is correct for 1 point.
I want to make sure it was confusing with the other one because there were 2 things in my head.
The two that are
Alright.
basically the same. Yeah.
Okay, and your final question in round 2 in the category of package films, Chris. In The Three Caballeros, Donald Duck receives 3 presents. What is his first present?
Multiple choice.
Multiple choice. Is it A, a book, B, a film projector, C, a piñata, or D, Jose Carioca?
A film projector.
That is correct for 1 point. All right, so
Right.
not as devastating a round 2 as we thought we would have had here for Hannah. She
No,
actually,
but I will say by choosing package films, she kept Chris from running away with the game, held him to only 2 points, which gives him only a 3-point lead, which is something she desperately needed to do after a rough round 2 herself.
Mhm.
So, like I said, it's still anyone's game, so let us go ahead and bring up the rules for round number 3. All right, in round number 3, competitors will choose 3 numbers ranging from 1 to 20 that correspond to 3 random categories. Each competitor will receive 3 questions. Questions in this round are worth 2, 3, and 5 points respectively. Competitors will have 15 seconds to answer each question. There is no stealing or multiple choice in this round. Repeats and challenges are still in effect. All right, so like I said, Chris is currently in the lead by 3 points. So Chris, you get the opportunity. What 3 numbers would you like to choose?
5, 2, and 9.
5, 2, and 9. All right. And Hannah.
It's up to 20, yes.
Yes, up to 20.
Let's do 20 and 4 and 16.
24, 16. All right. So, as we have said, Chris is currently in the lead by 3 points, which means that in order to avoid the TKO and send the questions back to Chris to have to answer, Hannah needs to get some points. So, Hannah, we are going to start with your 2-point question. Your 2-point question, you chose number 20, and that relates to the category of early classics and classics. So, of course, the films of the 30s through the 50s. And your question. In the film, what is the name of Pinocchio's conscience?
That would be Jiminy Cricket.
It would be Jiminy Cricket for 2 points. All right, so that puts Hannah within 1. Chris was crafty enough to get 3 points ahead, which means that he's still holding on by 1. So Hannah's going to have to get at least 1 more question correct before Chris has to answer. All right, so Hannah, your 3-point question, you chose number 4. That relates to the category of villains. Okay, and your question for 3 points. In James and the Giant Peach, what are the names of James's terrible ants? We need both names.
Dang, I just heard this the other day.
Remember, you still have 2 repeats left.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this film when I was a kid.
Yeah, I loved the book. So, in 5.
Go ahead and repeat it for me.
4. All right, that is your 2nd repeat. You have 1 left. And your question. In James and the Giant Peach, what are the names of James's terrible ants?
Suspense is terrible. I hope it'll last. Points to anybody in the audience who can pull where that quote actually comes from.
I mean, I know where I know it from in 5, 4.
I'm not gonna get it.
2.
We'll let the
Yes?
time run out.
Oh,
They both begin with
right.
the same letter. One of them might be Spike, but I definitely don't have the other one.
oh, so close.
Very close. We were looking for Ant Sponge and Ant Spiker.
Okay, so I was close on one of them. I was never gonna
Close
get
on
Sponge.
All right. So,
Oof.
like I said, we are down now to the 5-point question. This is for the game. If Hannah gets it correct, then Chris will be forced to answer some questions. However, if she misses, Chris will win by TKO. All right.
See if she can make some
Hannah.
magic happen.
You chose number 16. That relates to the category of the dark times. Okay. So your question for 5 points. In Lilo and Stitch, what is the name of the fish Lilo is determined to feed at the beginning of the film?
Oh, I know this. This I was like the only movie I have a chance of answering something from is Lilo and Stitch.
In 5.
Repeat it one more time.
Okay, that is your last one. All right. So your 5-point question in the category of the dark times. In Lilo and Stitch, what is the name of the fish Lilo is determined to feed at the beginning of the film?
I don't think this is it, but I'm gonna go for a guess. I'm gonna say it might be Punch.
And your winner by TKO, the Cooler, Chris Diaz. We were looking for Pudge.
So close.
So close.
So close,
So
Hannah.
close. Ah!
However, Chris
Spike and Punch
able-
are that's what I called him, okay?
So with that, Chris pulls off the upset and claims victory and goes through to the second round. Congratulations, Chris. We will see you both in post-match interviews. All right. Well, I will say that is going to be an upset on most people's bracket.
Absolutely.
I don't think that anyone expected Hannah, number one, to go out in the first round.
No.
Just not a position we expected her to be in. But I will say, and I said it in the preview special, when I picked Hannah, I said that Chris has been getting steadily better and that I would not be surprised if he pulled off this upset. And he has indeed pulled off this upset today.
That he has. I mean, it's the old saying, iron sharpens iron. And as Diaz keeps getting better, he's getting put up against tougher and tougher opponents. And that's just making him a better player by necessity. I mean, and those of you without Vulcan hearing like mine, that sound you might or might not have just heard was Hannah's soul shattering. So, but no, like Diaz, congratulations. But man, he's got some stiff competition coming up in the next round. I do not envy him whatsoever. But if he keeps playing the way that he has and stays consistent, that should be an interesting matchup, I'm sure.
It could be. It could be. I mean, we still don't know who is going to win that match, who he's going to have in that second round, but it's going to prove to be stiff no matter who he gets. So we will just have to see. So let us go ahead and go right now to our post-match interviews. All right. So we have, unfortunately, the Chartmaster Hannah Keefer. I did not expect you to be getting the first interview this early in the tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, let's look at your tournament track record so far. In the first one, you made it all the way to the final, barely lost. In the second one, you got all the way to the semifinal before being edged out by Lauren. And now all of a sudden, first round.
So, I mean, I think I know the answer to this. It's that three, and this was, I knew was a gamble when I took the actor's wheel choice, but 3 of those 4 were categories that were movies that I would not have had to answer 2 years ago because we had a hybrid film, we had a Muppet film, and we had a new film in a franchise that I'm not watching anymore because people told me Toy Story 4 was worth it, and it wasn't. They're like, it's
Wow,
okay that we disrupt the wonderful ending of Toy Story 3. Toy Story 4 is worth it. And they lied. So I'm never watching Lightyear.
Wow.
But yeah, so I mean, and then James and the Giant Peach. Again, have we ever had a James and the Giant Peach question before? Is that a hybrid film that I don't remember?
It is
Okay.
technically a hybrid film, and
Yeah.
that is definitely not the first James and the Giant Peach
I figured we
question.
must have somewhere, but I couldn't
Yeah.
remember if it was. So yeah, it's as we're expanding what we're looking at, we're not hitting the ones that I watched anymore. We're hitting the ones that I didn't watch, or that I watched once as an adult. And so I think that all the times when I was a number one contender were times when the movies were the Disney movies I was watching.
Sure.
And so I honestly think I think that I hit my cap, because I'm not going to go back and rewatch Muppet movies. I'm not going to go rewatch Pete's Dragon. I'm not going to watch Sony tomorrow. I'm not going to watch Lightyear. I will not watch Inside Out 2 when it comes out. Oh,
Wow. Hannah drawing the line.
stop making sequels. But yeah, so honestly, I think that's it. Is that and that's great. I love that we are expanding this. I just think that it means that my chances for number one spot are probably gone, and that's okay. I still enjoy this and love seeing what comes up, but I honestly think that's the answer. That I think that I will not be as much of a force to be reckoned with, because I'd say a good third of the movies that are in this list now are movies that I haven't seen or saw once and didn't care to watch again. And so it's my pool got smaller for myself.
All right. Well, I mean, as unfortunate as it is, Hannah, this does mean that your season has come to an end. Your tournament run is over. But of course, I hope that we have not seen the last of you in Movie Battles, because I'd love to see what comes up for you next. Excuse me. Next.
I'll be around. I'll still be missing the Muppets and the hybrid questions, but I'll be around. And anything with a sequel, I'll miss those, but I'll be around.
All right. She's calling her shot, folks. All right.
Now you know what to go for in the wheel round.
All right. Well, thank you again, Hannah. Mm-hmm. All right. And here we have today's winner. Chris, dealing with the blazing heat and all, you still were able to pull out a win. How are you feeling about not only winning this match today, but also now moving on to round number 2?
I'm really sure we're gonna win on, and I'm really surprised I pulled my first perfect round in any trivia I ever done. I've never done that before. I came close any time. We're a compliment from me. Hannah is a great player. Oh, we good. Happy on faces. Look forward to face you again down the line.
All right. So yeah, like you said, your first perfect round. And this is the first time you've made it to round 2 of the tournament. So we will just have to see how far you progress from there. But any last thoughts before we let you go?
Looking forward to taking anyone. You have fun at show that I know my Disney trivia. I know my Muppets and everything.
All right. Well, thank you, Chris, and good luck in round number 2. All right. Well, there you have it. We have a new competitor in round number 2. We will just have to see who meets him there. Like you said, he's got his work cut out for him for the rest of the tournament, because there's some tough competition ahead. But he did just take out Hannah. So, who knows what he has the capability of doing.
Yeah, but the problem is you take out a really big threat like that, you automatically put a huge target on your back. So if they were sleeping on Chris Diaz before, I tell you this much, they're not now.
No, they are not. Well, again, thanks to everyone. Hope you enjoyed this first round match today. We've got a lot more coming up. We also have a lot more with the Flying Cow. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment on this video, tell your friends. We've got all of our podcast output that you can find wherever you find podcasts. Just type in the Flying Cow. You'll find us there. Also, don't forget to check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/the the Flying Cow. We've got a lot of great stuff over there, tiers specific for movie battles. We'd love to have you over there. So, but like I said, with all of that great stuff coming up, in order to catch any of it, you're going to have to stay here. You're going to have to stay watching. And as always, move.
Moo.